It's 2020 and the pandemic is in effect. So 6 friends decide together, was actually 5 friends, have gotten together to throw a virtual birthday party for their friend Sam. We have Katie, who is the one that initiated everything. We have Rebecca and Jacob, who are a couple. They're through a meeting app that they're using. They're in there. There's Brian, who is like the tech savvy person, and then we have Adam, who is the jokester. Oh, not and Adam. We have Adam, who is the jokester, and then there's Amy, and the birthday girl is Sam. So while they're waiting for Sam to get onto the virtual the virtual group get together, they're talking, and then when Sam gets on, they wish her happy birthday and so forth and all that. Well, Jacob and Rebecca have surprised Sam with a Postmate of cupcakes, and it's kind of virtual, so it's like them having all the cupcakes and so forth. You get the idea. So she goes downstairs, or she goes to the door to get the Postmate, and while she's there, the others are talking amongst themselves, but it's taken a little bit for Sam to come back. So then they kind of go, wonder where she's at, and they ignore it for a little bit, and they go back to talking or doing whatever they're doing. And few more minutes go by, and now they think this is kind of strange that she hasn't come back. So now they're really concerned. So Brian, as I mentioned, is kind of the tech savvy guy. He decides, he started looking at the picture of when Sam went to go get her Postmate. He's looking at her background, and he realized that something is off about it. And when he does a little research on it, he realizes that the background she is using, which is supposed to be her room at her parents' house, is actually a background that she put up. It's not the actual background of her room. So now they're concerned about what happened to Sam, what took so long, and where could she possibly be. So Katie decides, if I say so a lot in these videos, just take a drink. Katie decides to do a FaceTime. As I mentioned, they're using an app called Meeting. I'm just going to call it FaceTime to make it simple. So she does FaceTime with Sam's parents, and Sam's parents said, I think she asked them about, did the cupcakes come? And they said yes. The mother gets the cupcakes and show them in the FaceTime group chat. And then Katie asked about Sam, and asked if Sam was there, and the father says no. Sam said that she is with you. Now Katie is actually at home, and Sam is supposed to be at home, but they share an apartment together. So the father says that Sam said that she was with Katie. Katie says no, Sam is not here. Katie asked the parents if they would go upstairs and check and see if Sam is actually there, and when they go check, she is not there. So now they're really concerned. They get off the phone with the parents, and they all decide to kind of figure out what's going on. Now we have Adam, who is the jokester, doesn't take anything seriously, thinks that there's nothing wrong and everything will be fine. Now she'll be back. She probably went to go do something. Then you have Amy, who doesn't worry about stuff too much. She's not really a jokester. She just doesn't take things too seriously. Therefore, we have Katie, who takes things seriously, and we have Brian, who takes things seriously. So they're concerned about Sam and where could she be. Then they start on their sleuthing. The first thing they do, Jacob decides, the couple of Jacob and Rebecca, I think her name is Rebecca, we're going to call her Rebecca. Jacob decides that he's going to go to Katie and Sam's apartment and see if Sam happens to be there. He takes off, he takes his phone with him, and while he's driving, they're talking with him. He checks at Sam and Katie's apartment, and while he's there, when he first comes in, we see that there's a TV hanging on the wall and it's not on. Therefore, Jacob is walking around the apartment. He doesn't see anything. It doesn't even look like Sam is there. But when he goes around, because the way the living room is, if you walk past the steps, they believe that's a kitchen you go into, and then you can go out another door, and then you end up back in the living room again. And when he goes back and is facing the living room, now the TV is on. And one of them asks what movie is playing, and he's wondering, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know what that means either, but he says he didn't say anything because he thought it was a strange question. And then it's not long until Jacob is attacked. Now they got to figure out what happened to Jacob. They're moving along. They're trying to figure things out. Brian is doing his technical sleuthing. There's things that they hear in the background. They start looking at pictures. They start thinking about things. Again, Adam is thinking everything is a joke. Amy is not taking anything seriously. They just think that Adam and Amy think this is just a big Halloween prank. But Katie and Brian don't. Then it's not long before Jacob's girlfriend, Rebecca, goes to look for him. So she goes to the apartment, and the same thing happens to her. She ends up getting attacked. Now they got to find out what happened to Rebecca. Now they're trying to figure all this out. Then Adam decides that he's going to go figure out what's going on. So he goes to the apartment because he, again, thinks everything is a big joke. He feels that once he gets there, they're going to see it's just a big prank and nothing is actually wrong and everybody will actually be there. When he gets there, he runs into trouble. So after he runs into trouble, later down the line, after they're doing a whole bunch of sleuthing, Katie thinking about things and Brian trying to figure things out, Amy decides that she's going to go to the apartment and figure out what's going on. So now we have gone from 5 people, 5 people. Well, actually it started out with 6 people, down to 5 for 3, and then we end up with just 2 people about midway through, a little bit past midway through the film, which is just Katie and Brian. And as I mentioned, the last one to go check in the apartment is Amy, and she gets attacked as well. I really enjoyed this movie. This is one of those films that you come across by accident. And a lot of these reviews that I've been doing have been films that I've come across by accident. As I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it, but it is a 2025 film. It is currently streaming on Prime Video. This is one of those that get you wrapped up in possibly, trying to sleuth as much as you can, since it's all a virtual get-together. That's what we are in as well. It's almost like we are there within the get-together, but we're silent viewers, you can say. But it's calm. It's calm in a sense that because there's part in the movie that things get really hectic. And I really like the pace of the film, that, it was just it just seemed like a normal thing. The storytelling went perfectly. The way people started trying to figure things out, like leaving the actual live, taking their phone, going to figure out what's going on at this apartment, finding nothing there, but getting attacked. And it just really makes you wonder, and it's not long before Katie starts figuring out who it actually is. Well, actually, Katie and then Adam knew, and so Adam went to try to find the person, and Katie begins digging some more. She starts figuring things out, and it was just really good. But when people start getting attacked is when things really start happening. It gets a lot of tense. It gets really hectic in the movie, because then we have Katie and Brian. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to keep things from happening as best as they can, trying to keep people from stop going into places, stop going here, stop going there, and so forth. And it just really gets really hectic, as I mentioned, really tense, and things just start happening really quick. And then we end up, and I'm not going to say anything because then I'll give the film away. I do recommend it. As I mentioned, it's called Don't Log Off. It is a 2025 film. It is currently streaming on Prime Video, and I'd like to know your thoughts. Now, those of you that have seen it, in the comments, if it's a way you can do it without giving a spoiler away, the ending, the very, very ending had me confused. I didn't understand it. I even rewatched the last part of the film, just the last few minutes of it, and I didn't understand even what the dialogue that was going on. Didn't give me any information, but something odd was definitely happening. And so I'd like to know your thoughts, what you thought the ending said or what it signified. And also, if you've seen the film, let me know what you thought of it. If you have other recommendations, movies like this, like there's one I know of called Unfriended or Unfriend. I think it's called Unfriended. It's another great movie to watch. What I've learned about these films is that the ones that are done virtually with these virtual get-togethers, I find have some really good actors and actresses in them. They're very believable. It feels real, and it just makes it so enjoyable to watch. And I do like that these type of films were filmed because of the whole pandemic, and some films that were filmed virtual get-togethers would do to other people maybe being out of the country and everybody wants to get together for a special night. There's another one where the people they have game night and they get together virtually to play game night. And I think that's the same one that's titled Unfriended. I can't remember, but I think that is the same film, and that was the storyline. Anywho, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I can't wait to talk about the next movie with you when I figure out what it is. My name is Nikki. This is Coffee and Shadows, and as I always say, have a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening. It all depends on where you are. Chachos!